Hello, Tiffany here from the Traveling Pint, and welcome back to another segment of the ongoing history of beer. And today in my fake basement, I have a lovely guest, Brett from Red Circle Brewing, so thank you for being here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. We go back a little way, so it is fun to have you on as a guest, and I feel like I've gotten to know you a little bit over the last, well, I guess just year, but beer brings people together, right?
For sure, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm stoked that you came today, brought some of my favorite beers and possibly some new ones I haven't tried, and to chat a little bit more about what you do over at the building. So why don't we start by telling everyone out there where you guys are located, a little bit about what you do there, and yada, 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 so on and so forth.
Yeah, so Red Circle, we're located in Kitchener. We just passed the year mark, so busy. Yeah.
Crazy. Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you. We made it.
You made it.
So yeah, it's been a great year, great crowd coming out, a lot of support from the community, which has been great. So we're located in Kitchener, and our concept is we tried to do something a bit different within the community, not just our region, but in the beer community in general. So Red Circle as a whole, we're a brewery within a restaurant.
Yes.
So the brew pub concept, but we took it a step further, and we included a coffee, roaster, cafe, bakery. So you like to say it's a one-stop shop for anyone coming in, and it really kind of creates a point of differentiation for us within the growing craft world.
Yeah. I think that concept's becoming, not to say more common, but I think it is a smart business decision too when there is a lot of craft beer going on out there, and you're kind of providing just a little bit extra for people to come and enjoy, whether they maybe don't drink as much beer or only want to come and have a beer and kind of still hang out in the environment.
For sure, yeah. So kind of like the name around Red Circle, it's the hardest thing really, like building a business and trying to come up with a name that's meaningful and you can build off of. So for us, again, the conceptual concept of like, what are two things we love?
Right.
Well, food, obviously, but the coffee side of things. So we did some digging. Red Circle ended up being an old coffee brand from the 1900s.
Cool.
So really played off that idea of coffee and beer. So I know one of your favorites, the coffee porter.
I think it's probably, the coffee porter has probably been on this show, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 times.
Okay,
I think it's a regular that I bring on or indulge with cupcakes as well in my pairings. But yes, I am thrilled to see that you brought that. I will make sure and do some quality control that it's still just as tasty.
Yeah, so for us that was kind of the difference. In-house roasting, bakery, beer and coffee kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
So, that's a little bit about us, I guess, and then our background.
Yeah. And I did like the view when we go in there too, that it is a little bit of a, I guess in the restaurant world you'd say open kitchen, but I think it's like an open brewery. So we have the ability to not necessarily walk around and touch things while you're brewing, but to sort of watch you guys at work a little bit too.
For sure, yeah. Again, like the biggest thing we wanted to do is create an experience for people when they come in. So the restaurant side of things, we've got interactive tables, so the first in North America to have those.
Right.
Yeah, so you can do everything from the table, from ordering, playing games. If you want to do a puzzle of me and some of the brewers, you can do that as well.
Are you on the puzzle? I haven't explored the puzzle board.
Yeah, it's every once in a while I get a message on the weekend saying like, I'm doing a puzzle right now.
That's too funny.
So it's fun, it's interactive. So the building we're in is very tech-centric, so kind of builds off of that, and KW is very tech community. And then the brewing side, so it is different, open. We have a bar right in front of the actual brewery, so people can come, sit down.
No heckling.
Don't feed the brewers.
Except from us, don't feed the brewers. Don't tap on the glass.
Exactly. But fully open, so a part of it's just like a welcoming place for people to come, hang out, have a beer, talk to us. I love talking beer probably as much as you do.
Yeah, it's good. You listen to me, and I enjoy equally listening to your conversation.
And it brings people together, right? So that's kind of the overall concept of our space and what we wanted to do.
Cool. Yeah. And I have eaten there as well, so I'm not just consistently drinking beer while I'm there. And the food is delicious. So just to put that out there too, you guys are, I think, making quality beer and food across the board, which is nice.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure. Everything is focused on local and fresh. So sourcing local ingredients when we can. So we'll touch upon like our some of the ingredients we use in our beers, but also on the restaurant side for sure. They're focusing on everything from in-house pasta to making our own bread for our burgers, all that stuff.
And then the names of the beers too, are these all sort of related to the town, I'm guessing, right? I feel like I recognize some of them, not being overly familiar with Kitchener, but from Bernie kind of being in that area a little bit more too, I start to recognize.
For sure, 100%. A lot of people may not recognize KW. The brewing heritage goes way back, like back 150 years.
So great.
Yeah, so being from the marketing side, when I first got started in the industry, I really wanted to kind of tell people about and celebrate the deep heritage of beer in our community.
Yeah.
So that's where I drew kind of the names of our beers. Everything from Belmont Village, which is where we are in Kitchener.
Right.
So it's like a village within a city. A lot of people don't know about. So back in the 1930s, that was a place where people, they started building just to give people jobs outside of manufacturing. So there's cool little stories, and each of our cans touches on that. And then, work down to Crystal Park, for example. That really touches on the brewing heritage of German families settled in Kitchener. And Crystal Park, it still exists. It's where the old Kuntz Brewery used to be.
Okay.
So it's called Crystal Park, and the family way back in the 1800s built that park to bring people out to the brewery. So it was a very family-centric experience for people to come out, have beer with their families, and then the lineage goes on from there with that location.
I like this. I think it is really part of the package, and sometimes, not to say breweries get lost in the marketing, but I think it is important to kind of connect what you're doing to either a theme or the community, which kind of is what you're giving back, and they're the ones supporting you, like you say, as well. So Absolutely. I think you guys have done this from a marketing standpoint. Nice and clear cut. I think the branding looks great, and the names as well. So we're going to cut to break, and I want everyone at home to either go grab a beer from the fridge, or you can continue drinking the beer that you have. And when we come back, we're going to wet our whistles a little bit and talk more about beer.
Wonderful.
And welcome back. Again, I'm Tiffany from The Traveling Pint, and this is our ongoing History of Beer segment. And I've got Brett joining us today from Red Circle Brewing out of Kitchener, Ontario. So we've poured a little something into our glass. Why don't you start with letting us know what it is, and then we can start to talk about some of the beers that you guys produce, styles, and the reasoning behind why you're keen on some of these styles as well.
Yeah, for sure. So being a brew pub, to date we've brewed almost 40 different beers. So
holy cow!
Really? Had a lot of fun making new recipes or one-offs. So at any time we have kind of 8 to 9 different one-offs. But one thing I wanted to do when we started up is have a solid core 4, so people can come back, have that favorite brand that they know it's going to be the same
for sure
in terms of quality and consistency. So I have our core 4 here today. So we're starting with our Iron Horse Trail IPA.
Excellent.
Yeah, so this one we just won at the 2019 Canadian Brewing Awards, bronze for this. So, our team, we're pretty proud about that. It's a true to style kind of American IPA.
Okay.
So you are getting some of that haze, but more clarity than some of the New England styles that are coming around.
Yes, absolutely.
That you see. So I guess kind of my experience, I've been in the industry for 10 years, so have a great appreciation for the classic styles.
Yeah.
We're talking about Bell's Two Hearted.
Yeah.
Just a classic American IPA. So I really wanted to encapsulate that in this beer. So
you've done a fantastic job.
Thank
I
you.
say, I love that IPA is now kind of such a wide range of what you can get in that description, but there is something to be said just about the classic. No fuss, not too much added, nothing tinctured too much with color in adjuncts and funky ingredients, and I just think it's a beautiful beer.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the balance where you can have a hop-forward beer, but bounding out that bitterness with some softness. So there's different techniques that you can do as a brewer. To achieve that. So this one, classic style, we use Citra, Galaxy, and Mosaic.
Oh, okay. So you do have some Galaxy in there too. I
So
didn't know
Galaxy,
that.
yeah, just to bring up the citrus notes. Mosaic is very dank. It has it's a classic American hop along with Citra.
Yeah.
So you'll get waves of tropical fruit with this, and a lot of citrus. So
That's a beautiful hop combination. I didn't know that's what. Sometimes I forget to ask that question, right, or discover kind of what's in there. And I've really tried to focus a bit more this year on like understanding what each hop, there's a million, but can contribute to a beer. So
for sure, it's the interplay.
Like we know the normal ones. But
There's certainly. Nice. Like any ingredient or like cooking, it's, there's certain aspects to it that you got to interplay the different flavors and profiles to make them all bounce. So, 6.3, 60 IBUs. So, try to make it sessionable but flavorful for an IPA.
Sometimes nowadays sessionable crawls up there a little bit, but it still is. Like I would never have guessed that for the ABV on that either. So, it's a very nice beer. And you do have a little bit of history in brewing too. So, I love the fact that. Not to say that you only have to work at one brewery, not to say that it's a bad thing if you do, but I love that you have a background in several breweries throughout Ontario, but also that you have some of your learning comes from the States as well. So you can maybe lightly touch on that or just let people know where the reasoning for some of these styles comes from as well.
So I always joke that with people saying beer's in my blood. So my father's been in the beer industry for over 30 years.
Cool.
So I essentially grew up around beer.
So he's very proud of his son.
Yeah. We've come a long way for sure. In terms of working at different places, for me, starting out in the industry, I always wanted to progress and get to this point where I had a place that I could call home and my own, but also have that interaction with people where I could produce beers and see it in real time, people consuming them and having a good time.
Yeah.
Like my history, I started in the industry on the sales marketing side.
Okay.
And I was taking Prud'homme, which is beer sommelier course, and I got to level 3, and a part of that level you had to create a recipe. We got to brew it with Jamie Minstry at Amsterdam on their pilot system.
Yeah, he's a great dude. I have met him at Common Good as well, which I think is now his project, but he's a great dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was my aha moment.
Cool.
So enjoyed the marketing creative side, but also the tangible pint in your hand, creation that you did.
Cool.
So, I went back to school, which was always tough after being out of school for a while. I went to Siebel, so I got to study in Chicago and also in Munich.
Amazing.
So the yin and yang of the beer world, hop forward, big American beers, sessionable, pilsners, kolsches of the world. So got a wide range under my belt. And then came out and worked for Nickelbrook for a while. Great group there, learned so much.
Cool.
From them and on their system. And then, progression-wise, ended up meeting up with the restaurant team and opened up Red Circle.
Yeah. Oh, it's just such a great story. I don't know. I do admire what you do, and I just think you have a nice personality that goes with all of it too. And maybe that's starting from the sales and marketing, because sometimes it's hard to get brewers out here chatting in public. They like to be in their station in the back, and as we need them there because they're making great beers. But it's nice to I think you have that little roundabout attitude in what you do as well. So.
And it's passion. I think it's easy to talk about stuff or interact with people that you have a similar passion for, and that's what I find, a big part of what I like to do is collaboration. So
cool.
Kind of ties into, our Red Circle as a personality and a brand, but also who you know in the industry and meeting new people.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we're only down to about a minute and a half. Do you want to get that in you? Do you want to quickly crack another one? Give us like a 45-second. Short notes on what it is,
sure,
and then we'll wrap it up.
I'll skip to our Norwegian IPA, which is our 1-year anniversary beer. So this is part
fantastic.
Of what we call our Berlin series.
Yep.
So we like to collaborate within the community with like-minded people. Mm-hmm. And
thank you.
Really just a fun way to get together and brew and talk about beer.
Collaborating beer sometimes is more enjoying than hard work. But
and for us, it always doesn't have to be about another brewery. So this one we actually teamed up with Scarpin Labs out of Guelph, local yeast company. Those guys are awesome. They know their stuff. So this one's a Kvike yeast.
Perfect.
It's a newer one called EB Garden, so very mango, fruit-forward beer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to rush you because we're done. So thanks for joining me so much.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. And we're going to throw the next to Mick to Dre about some music, and we'll see you next time.